What up? Welcome back to my channel, the WGR Freak Show. Today, I'm going to be reacting to some more Dave Ramsey. You saw my other Dave Ramsey video. You know I'm typically not a huge fan of what he teaches because he teaches to be middle class and to have a dream of getting your fanciest dream car, a Honda Pilot. He teaches pay off all your debt. And I don't always agree with his strategies, but I know that he's obviously very successful with what he's built. And so there's definitely some things to learn from him. Now, as I watch these videos, I'm going to react to. I've never seen them before. I'd love to see your comments in the comments down below. And do you agree with Dave Ramsey, or do you think kind of like me and you disagree with a lot of what he's saying? Let me know in the comments down below.
79% of America's millionaires. Airtight research, data, not a feeling, not a political agenda, not your broke brother-in-law's opinion at Thanksgiving, not how he feels about rich people. None of this. Data. 79% inherited precisely 0.
Wow.
8 out of 10. 5% more inherited a small amount, like $1,500 or $5,000, mathematically could not have possibly made them a millionaire. Another 5% inherited substantial money, like $100,000, $200,000, after they were already millionaires. So 5 and 79, we're at 89%. 9 out of 10 of America's millionaires did not become millionaires because of an inheritance.
Look, I can tell you this. I did not become a millionaire because of inheritance. This video is really cool. One thing that I will agree with on Dave Ramsey is that the data does not lie. Now, the method on which you become a millionaire obviously is different with Dave Ramsey than the way I would suggest it. However, the reality is that you have a 9 in 10 chance of becoming a millionaire. You didn't have to be handed on a silver platter. You don't have to have a trust fund. You don't have to be able to be given the money. You can go create it from no matter where you're at in your life, just like I did, and obviously 89% of the Americans that have become millionaires. How do you do it? It starts with your roots. You have to, I repeat, your roots. You have to change your mindset around money, the way you think and are attached to money. You have to have a secure attachment with money. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below.
Rich people ask how much. Broke people ask how much down.
I don't know what it is. I don't normally agree with Dave Ramsey, but so far, he's already talking about how rich people think versus poor and middle class think. And I'll tell you what, from the 3 seconds I've already watched this video, is that broke and average people, they're always asking how much down so they can leverage the rest through bad debt. What I want to recommend is you find out how much the thing is that you're going to buy, whether it's an investment, whether it's a liability, no matter what, and get really clear on this. This is the point. Speak and think the way rich people speak and think, and you become rich.
If you use your credit cards, you do not want to be rich.
Well, anytime you say something about debt, people send it to me. Look,
Right,
look what Cubans say.
Tweets, yeah.
Look at what Cubans say.
And vice versa.
Yeah, so cut up your credit cards. If you use a credit card, you don't want to be rich.
Yep,
I like that line. That's a good line.
That's my favorite line. I tell it people all the time. People then they ask me, well, where's the best place to invest? I said, your best place to invest is to pay off all your credit cards and burn them. Because your credit card, you know what your return is, right? If you get off, you're paying 15, 20% interest. If you pay that down, you just earn 15 or 20%.
Folks, I've told you 100 times, and Forbes 400 wealthiest people in North America, when surveyed, asked what's the way to build wealth, what's the number one way to build wealth. 75% of wealthy people, not your broke brother-in-law with an opinion, but wealthy people say, get out of debt and stay out of debt.
Yep.
When I hear him say get out of debt, I hear him say get out of bad debt. Now, Mark Cuban is saying burn the credit cards. I actually don't think you need to burn your credit cards. I use an Amex. I pay it off every single month, and I get a lot of miles that I fly for free because when I spend an ad account on Facebook or we spend a venue fee or whatever, and we spend $300, $400, $500,000 a year on that card, well, guess what? I get all those reward points. But here's where you could get into a trap, is that as you're spending on the credit card, and let's say I've used some down revenue months or whatever, people then all start counting these balances, what he's talking about, and it's like a 20% interest. That's where you're going to get hammered, especially if you're paying that over a long period of time. So I completely agree, get out of bad debt. But yet, I've got this other loan that's like $1 million at 3.75% over 30 years. I've already used that to make way more money. I've got this loan. It's $1 million at 3.75% over 30 years. It's basically free money. All I have to do is use that wisely into investments that make me way more than 3.75% per year. And I've done that. And I've made a whole lot of money, especially investing through different avenues in my business that create a huge rate of return. So is all debt bad? No. You got to get out of the bad debt. Completely agree. But this takes a principle on knowing how to manage your money, how to invest your money, and really having a great relationship with money.
One time I went into an electronics store and was trying to buy something, and the guy said, "You need the extended warranty," and I said, "No." And he goes, "Well, Dave Ramsey gets them." And I thought he knew who I was. I started laughing. I thought he was joking with me. And I'm like, "Well, no, Dave Ramsey doesn't get them." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, he does." He started arguing with me until I handed him my driver's license, and then he said a curse word.
That's so funny. I was on the phone with a client the other day, and he was recommended to work with a specific attorney to set up his asset protection trust. And the attorney was saying, "Hey, look, I do T. Harv Eker's trust." And he was telling me all this. He's like, so he's expensive, $50,000, whatever. And he was telling me, it must be good if he does Harv's. And I was like, dude, that's funny. I got some investment deals or some business deals going on with Harv right now. I'm going to ask him. Anyways, came back. Harv doesn't even use that guy. They fired that guy. You'll see this all the time. Well, people will leverage. I watch it with Tony Robbins all the time. They'll leverage his name in order to make you feel more comfortable to get the thing that you probably don't need. Specifically, an extended warranty on any electronic. I always say no to that crap, and it's just trying to upsell you some stupid crap. So this is kind of funny.
I've owned over 2,000 pieces of real estate in my life. I've got several $100 million worth of real estate today. One thing I know for sure is if you tell me the renters are going to pay the payments for you, that tells me you've never managed rental property. That tells me you've never done it. That's 100%. You are a novice at best, an idiot at worst. And I mean, that's the truth, because anybody who's ever had a renter or been a renter, and I have both, I've been a renter too, it knows that sometimes renters don't pay. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's cancer. Sometimes there's car wrecks and job loss. Sometimes there's a pandemic. Sometimes ... It's, as if there's a perfect stream of every month the rent is going to come on time or early and you can pay your stupid little payment. And that's the most ridiculous assumption, which indicates a lack of experience or knowledge of how rental property really works.
I completely agree. In fact, when I first got into the rental business, I remember 4 or 5 months into owning the rental property. It was December of that year, and the tenant, a really good guy, I still connect with him today, he lost his job and he couldn't make his payment. Now all of a sudden, I'm stuck making the payment on the property that I don't even live in. But the reality is I own the property. So sometimes this, sometimes that absolutely happens. Dave is right on this one. I agree. And one of the ways that I've really worked around this is I always look to reduce my risk, reduce my exposure. So I own a bunch of properties that are Section 8, subsidized housing. I get it direct through what's called Weber County Housing or Ogden Housing Authority. These are in the cities and the counties that I own those properties. And the cool thing about that, they are approved. These people are approved in there. And the money comes straight from the county or the city into my bank account. And so I know automatically it's coming. Now, how that won't come is if these people stop living there, I got to find another renter. Obviously, that's the other thing he didn't talk about is vacancy rate. People move out, and if you don't feel the property, which in the last several years it's been pretty simple because of the housing demand, but there are times where you can't fill the property and you have vacancy and you're caught paying for that. So one of my strategies is I love working class property because no matter if real estate's up or down, people need a place to live, and there's way more working class than there are really, really rich people. So I go with the working class, and I love Section 8 subsidized housing, so I get direct deposit for 75 or 80%, I can't remember the exact number, of their rent, and the tenant is required to pay the remaining 20-25%. Now, you do run the risk that they don't pay you, and if they don't pay you, sooner or later you got to kick them out, but at least you're getting 75 or 80% of that rent. I'd love to hear your comments in today from my reactions to Dave Ramsey, and I want to see if you agree with Dave, if you're a fan of Dave, if you don't like Dave. Look, there's a lot about Dave. He obviously says he has hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate, very successful person, and so there's something to learn from him. And the question is do you fully agree with his agenda on the whole pay off debt? And I personally don't. I think have some good debt. Have some debt that's leveraged, and I guarantee he owns a bunch of that real estate with some good debt. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know him well enough. Anyways, like this video. And if you thought it was valuable, share it with your friends. And let's see what they have to say in the comments down below. Well, we'll see you soon. Thanks for coming on my channel today. Talk to you later. Look, I want to say thanks for watching my video. And I know that this isn't for everyone, but it is for certain people that are ready to make big changes. Like they're ready to create residual revenue. They're ready to become real business owners. They're ready to have a business that makes money even when they're not working. And if that's you, I want you to click the link down in the description, and I want to give you an opportunity to have what's called a triage discovery call. We're gonna meet with my head coach and learn where you're stuck in your business and what changes you gotta make so that you don't have to work to make money. And I want to say again, I know that sounds crazy, but imagine you took time off and you still made money. That doesn't mean you don't have a business to grow. You absolutely do. But I'm going to teach you how to grow a business that makes money even when you're not there working. So click the link down below, get your free consultation with my team, and let's really discover where you're at and how you can create it. We'll see you there.